Greetings, dear ones. We welcome the contact today. We take you as you are. You do not need to dress a special way to be in our presence. We see you as the children of God in your perfection, in your wholeness, full of humanness, full of eternalness, and everything in between. There is no need to pretend. There's no need to hide or conceal yourself in our company. Once more we say check in. Is this offering a gift of unconditional love? Use your discernment wisely. Never take our contact for granted. Never take this transmission for granted. Every word, every vibration must be filtered and received at the gates of discernment. What was relevant yesterday may not be relevant today. You are the master of your fate and captain of your soul. Take a deep breath in. Last time we touched on the theme of what it means to live wholeheartedly. And to be someone who is awake and perceiving their life through the lens of wholeheartedness across space and time. Rising up out of that separated identity and perceiving and living from the whole. Let us take that a little deeper today and look at the process that is involved across the dimension of time. Time did not exist in Lemuria. It was not a facet of our creation. We were light bodies. And when we woke up to who we truly were, it was full and complete in that moment. No time was involved. And that was our gift. And our purpose to live at that vibration. but we witness you on the human plane, coming with a different soul contract, a different mission, a different purpose. And we honor your courage for doing so. Your willingness to add the dimension of time. And to bring that quality of awareness into every facet of your experience on this earth. A rare soul may awaken, and for that to permeate through every cell of his being in a second. It is possible, but rare. It is quite curious to reflect on. The fact that there is several aspects to your being. There is the divine self, the divine consciousness that has never even left home, that is already awake, that already knows it is a child of God. That is like the pinnacle of a mountain or a pyramid. No dimension of time there. No point of separation to be reconciled. But even though some may yearn to be at that pinnacle, at the top of that pyramid, that is not the purpose for most on this earth plane, in human bodies, navigating relationships, and cultivating a good life here and now. Instead, that awareness must trickle down that pyramid and touch other aspects of your being through a slow and steady process of integration and transformation. Lower down that pyramid, there are parts that are open, easily receptive to that deep knowing, and they can move swiftly across the plane of time with ease. And often that is the beginning of the spiritual journey. Those first few aspects come along for the ride. That seed of awareness sprouts and flowers. And there are other parts of the self that are called home, that remember who they are. And there can be this great temptation, once those aspects have awakened, to end the process of time there. Which only maintains a duality and fragmentation between those parts that are awake at the top of the pyramid and those parts that are still in that vibration of fear. And that is the label of spiritual materialism that has been coined in our modern age. Where we have a spiritual side to us, a side rooted in the light, and then a side that is hidden in the shadows, that is repressed and denied. A frustrated process begins as those shadowy, repressed aspects become bothersome, become obstacles, hindrances that keep tripping us up at our feet. Here we are, the spiritual parts of us awake, high vibrational, and yet all around us our relationships are falling apart. Our ego continues to play its hand. But there becomes that moment in time when that obsession with trying to live at the top of the pyramid lessens. And one begins to awaken to the true mission for being here, which is a path of full integration and the restoration of wholeness. Drip by drip, we begin to open that door and allow that which is lower down that pyramid to receive that knowing and that awareness. And we surrender in the truth that will take more time. The parts of us that are more closed and resistant, frozen in trauma perhaps, how do you approach one who is traumatized, one who is cold, closed off? It takes time to build a relationship with that particular fragment. You can't just burst in with a shower of light and expect by some magic miracle that they will cross over and receive and join you at the table of spiritual ascension. These are the parts of us that do not trust easily. Parts of us that have been hurt, carry huge resentments, grievances, parts of us in pain. Parts of us that experienced abuse. Very, very gently, very, very slowly, one must approach and to build that trusting relationship and to go in with the essential attitude of this will take as long as it takes, and to come with no agenda. To not try and heal trauma. To not try and make those aspects that are hurting feel like they must change. That is not love. If love is where we are going, then love has to be the path. What does it take to truly love someone who is hurting? That part of us that cannot possibly get close to the knowing that they too are a child of God. Even in the darkest corners where they hide, God is still there. And that is shown to them through your love as the parts of you that are awake meet those parts of you that cannot. To just sit and listen. To just be. So much that goes on today in the name of healing is nothing more than mischief making. That acts under the guise of judgment. I will come in to fix you, to make my life easier, so I can go back up to the top of the pyramid, where the vibration feels good and enlightened and high, rather than staying down in your realm, dear one. No, 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 no. That is not healing. I say again, if love is where we are going, then love has to be the way. Take a deep breath in. And as we say, in the time of Lemuria, this was not a teaching that was relevant to us. It is only now we are discovering as guides that we have had to master this. We cannot just come in and offer the vibration of Lemuria, the wisdom of Lemuria, drop it at the table, and then run. We have to be willing to sit, to be, to listen, to allow. And that is what God does in His love. As long as it takes. And then true healing occurs. Forgiveness will melt the hardest of hearts in time. And the onus is not on the aspect at the bottom of the pyramid to take that leap into a spiritual practice of forgiveness, to resolve its hurt. The onus is actually on the one who sees the hurt, the one who is awake, the one who knows, to plant that seed of forgiveness through its loving care. How curious that is to the human mind, when we often think it's the perpetrator. We must actually ask for forgiveness for any wrong it has done, for any hurt it has caused. That is not how forgiveness actually works. Forgiveness must come from the one who knows. The one who sees, the one who is aware. That the hurt has actually happened. Those aspects in the shadowy corners are blind to what is going on, fumbling and stumbling around in the dark. They need the light brought by those higher aspects of self. To forgive on their behalf for the hurt that is being caused, the grievances being carried, and the judgments being uttered. And that, dear ones, is how one moves through the process of becoming whole in yourself. Do not look for the end of fragmentation in your external world. address the fragmentation within. That is where the power lies. And the deepest test of your responsibility. And that is our teaching today. Godspeed, dear one. But as long as it takes. As long as it takes. We are the Counsel of Light. And until next time.